And welcome back to Sports Weekly on IEMG. I am your host, Pep Fernandez. We're talking beach volleyball. Yes, beach volleyball for the girls is now a CIF Southern Section sport. It started last year, but there's still a lot of schools still being introduced and getting started. Well, at Aquinas High School, they're actually one of the few schools that have an actual beach volleyball court on campus. There's not a lot of schools that have that. The Aquinas Falcons in a version, I'd say, of the Ambassador League with Hillcrest and Norco, along with some other traditional Ambassador League schools. But yeah, again, one of the few schools actually doing beach volleyball and actually with a beach volleyball court on campus. We had a chance to talk to head coach Mark Mina to talk about more about the sport in general, but how it got started at Aquinas High School. And now join us here on Sports Weekly on IEMG. He is heading up the Aquinas Beach Volleyball program. Yes, I said beach volleyball. It's been very popular at the college level. Of course, we watch it in the Olympics. Now it has come to the CIF Southern Section, and the Aquinas Falcons leading the way with a host of IE schools getting involved. Coach Mark Mina. And Coach Mina, first off, this is the first year that we've had beach volleyball on the girls' side. You know, we've seen the popularity at different levels, like I just mentioned, college. Maybe people watch it in the Olympics. But why do you think now is the time to introduce beach volleyball to the CIF Southern Section?
I think with the growing number of colleges that are supporting women's beach volleyball, I think now's the time for them to start at the high school level. Actually, last year was the inaugural year, but didn't quite pan out the way we would have liked. This year we have a full league. I don't know if you know Jake Celestine out of Norco. He's kind of heading up our league.
Yeah, I was going to say, you know, when you hear Aquinas, obviously you think of the Ambassador League, but this is not your traditional Ambassador League. I think there's a couple other Ambassador League schools, but I think Norco's in there, Hillcrest from Riverside's in there, so the league's a little bit different. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think it's just kind of based on who was able to field the team. You know, beach is not exactly something that was in the plans for a lot of schools. And so when it got thrown in there, I think it's like, hey, which schools could do it? We have a particularly great support staff and administration that has put together a program for us that allows us to actually have courts on campus, which is really rare.
You know, that's what I wanted to bring up too, because, you know, there's a lot of schools that might have the desire to do beach volleyball, but in order to do it, unless you're going to an off-site venue, you got to have a beach volleyball court, or whatever you call it, the sand, actually on campus. And you guys did it at Aquinas. How difficult, or, you know, how challenging was that?
Well, you know, the process in itself, I wasn't directly involved, but I got to kind of watch it come together. And I think Mr. Barrows, who's the president of the school, is probably the guy we have to thank for all that. He had the vision of wanting to get it done. The process was lengthy. Let's just put it that way, you know, from building the pit to them going through the specs and figuring out, you know, putting in the sand and types of sand they were going to use. You know, just the time spent was, you know, enormous. But at the end of the day, I think we really have a nice, you know, 3 courts there. We're still not quite done with what we want to do in our ability to host. But, you know, it's looking pretty good.
All right, Coach, what are the more obvious differences between maybe coaching traditional, you know, volleyball and beach volleyball?
I think the first thing that most people notice in a traditional 6-on volleyball and in a women's game, the coaches are a little bit more involved. They're on the sideline, especially at the high school level, barking out orders or, you know, making directions, where at the beach level, coaches are actually not involved. They are not allowed to speak to the players as they're playing. Adjustments can't be made mid-game. The only time the coaches can really talk to them is between matches or between sets and during timeouts. And normally that's the difference. Is I think the game time adjustments really fall on the girls. So I think it's more important for the coaches to prep them. You know, obviously with the rain that we've had, we haven't had a whole lot of opportunities to do a lot. So we kind of just talk to the girls in between the game. We definitely, you know, try to set them up for success, let them play a lot so they get to know each other. It's a little different from the indoors because where you have 6 girls on a court, you got 2. So a lot of times they're either going to link up and be, really awesome out on the court, or they're going to, kind of fall apart because they realize that even if they're really good friends off the court, they're not great at connecting on the court. So, yeah, I mean, it's interesting finding the right pairs to get them going.
And coach, again, this might be an obvious question, but I'm going to ask it anyways. You might be a great traditional volleyball player, but does that translate to the beach volleyball game? And again, like you said, you can't communicate directly with them during the match. So how difficult is it as these traditional volleyball players are trying to maybe learn the beach volleyball game on the fly?
What's so funny is that your traditional, tall athlete may not do so well in the sand. The movement and their length at this age can be difficult for some of them. So you find a lot of players in that, like especially with the girls' side, maybe in that 5'5" to 5'9" size age range where their movement is great, and so they're hitting a lot more shots. They're maybe not banging the ball as hard. The equalizer is the sand. So at the end of the day, a smaller player who may not be, a great hitter or great phenomenal front row player does great on the sand because they're crafty, they can hit shots, and they're great at defense. Now, as you move into the professional leagues and stuff like that, obviously then size becomes important because but at this level in high school, you'll find that some girls who aren't great traditional indoor players are great sand players. Now, those that translate on both, I mean, we have a couple of girls. One girl's a setter for us. But she's a great outdoor player and has a really phenomenal swing. But indoors, she's just a good player. Whereas outdoors, I think she's a really good player. Like she's just so smart with her shots because she can do more, outdoors.
So, Coach, when we look at, and I'm not sure what the league, what's your league called, by the way? Do you know what it's called?
That's a good thing. Let me check. I think I might have it here on my phone.
Because I don't even know what the league is called right now, but I know there's just a small percentage of schools, at least in our area. When I say our area, I say
it is actually the Ambassador League.
Is it Ambassador League?
Tell you, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams, and it's OC, Arrowhead, Norco, and Hillcrest, and then us.
Yeah. So there's still. I mean, it's obviously this is a sport that's still growing. You're still getting schools that jump on board with it. Is there even a CIF playoffs at the end of the season? Is there enough schools like in Orange County and stuff doing it?
Yeah, there's going to be a playoff. Like last year, the teams that were a little bit more involved got to go to playoffs. I think it was OC and Norco. Mm-hmm. For us, we were hoping we can. This is our first year. But yeah, if there's playoffs, it'll usually be down in Orange County, as far as I know. I don't know if they do. I think they only did it there because of their inability to host. So it would be interesting because if we happen to win league or make it into playoffs, we could host CIF on our venue. I think I don't even know the exact rules. We didn't think that far ahead. We're just thinking, man, it'd be great to put this together.
No, and it looks great. I saw some pictures of it. So if you've been to Aquinas, obviously it's kind of sandwiched between the backside of the football stadium and the out, I think like left center field, maybe, or the softball diamond, something like that. It's right in there.
Pretty much, left center field of softball. So that's a challenge for practices as well.
And Coach, again, just being the first season of beach volleyball at Aquinas, what was your expectations going in? I know the weather has kind of been challenging for a lot of spring sports, but what was your expectations going in terms of, just getting these girls, into the sport, get them going, get them introduced, learn the game on the fly? I mean, did you think, hey, you know what, we had a couple, things on our wish list, build a court, get enough girls to field the team, and who knows, maybe win a league title? Like, what was kind of on your to-do list in your first year?
Definitely fielding enough teams to play was big. That's a really, really big one for us. Getting enough, we weren't sure because last year we had a lot of interest, and then we had girls graduate, and then girls come in. You have to field varsity has to field 5 pairs.
Okay,
and then JV's not really. It's kind of non-existent. I mean, there's teams that have JVs. It just kind of depends. So that first thing was, do we have enough girls that are interested? And then how many of the girls can actually play? Mm-hmm. So kind of getting them set up, that was a big part for us. just getting them out there. And it's been nice outside of the fact that the weather hasn't cooperated in our first season here. So we've actually only been able to get on the court in a match once. So we've had to postpone a whole bunch of games. Today we'll be on the court for our second time, and oddly enough, it's already with the other team we played, which is OC. So the only matches we've had has been against the same teams.
Well, Coach, I guess some matches are better than no matches.
Absolutely.
Well, yeah. Coach Mina, listen, you're the man. Listen, I really appreciate it. I just saw beach volleyball, being introduced to the CIF Southern section. Now it's hitting home here in the IE and at Aquinas High School. So just wanted to let people know about it, and it's going on. And, maybe there's some girls out there interested in beach volleyball. Well, they're doing it, with the Falcons. So I think that's really cool.
Come on out and visit us.
All right, that's Coach Mark Mina here on Sports Weekly on IEMG. Thank you so much, Coach.
All right, thank you so much.
And a big thanks to Coach Mina for the interview. That's going to do it for this edition of Sports Weekly on IEMG. I am your host, Pep Fernandez. Subscribe to the IE Media Group YouTube channel, and we will see you next time.